Good morning, Mark here. Today is Anna's birthday, and along with our steaks, our asparagus, sauteed mushrooms, and sauteed onions, I'm going to make my grandmother's artichokes. She was from northern Italy. We had, growing up, artichokes 2 times a year, usually at Thanksgiving and at Christmas, and it took a while for us to figure out how Noni, our grandmother, made these, and I'm going to share that recipe today. We all begin with our ingredients. Consist of equal parts parsley, finely chopped, Parmesan cheese, and breadcrumbs. We put those in a small bowl, set those aside. Once we clean the artichokes, and I'll show you how we do that, we stuff them with those 3 ingredients along with garlic, butter, and then we sprinkle we sprinkle the olive oil inside of that. Set those in the pan with our bone broth and simmer and cook for about 3 to 4 hours or until done. Cleaning the artichokes is probably the hardest part. I don't have a stand to show you how this is done, and I need both hands, so I'm going to do this video in stages. We first want to clean and make a flat bottom on our artichokes. We're going to cut the stem off, but we are going to save the stem. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to chop just the top part to make a flat top for this so we can open up the leaves. And then what I will do is trim the small little spikes that are on top of the leaves. I'll do that in some stages so I can show you how I'm doing that. And once that is done, we're going to open this up and we're going to clean out what's called the choke and expose the artichoke heart, and then I'll show you how we stuff the leaves. I'm going to start just by cleaning some of the leaves at the bottom that are kind of old here, and then what I'll do is I will get a sharp knife and slice the bottom here. So it should look something like this when you're done, to give us a flat bottom to set in the pan. We want to save our stem. Certainly we'll clean that up, and I'll get some of the brown off there, but these are delicious as well all by themselves. When I clean the stem, it should look something like this, but now that I've done it, and I remember from last time, it's best to do this last. That way we don't get some oxidation at the end points of our stem. Make sure you use a sharp knife, and they should look similar to this when you cut the tops off. And then we'll take a good pair of shears, and we're going to snip the tips of the artichoke leaves so we can get rid of the thorns right at the top. And I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. And here we are with the leaves tips cut. It should look similar to this. And now I'm going to open all this up and take out the choke on the inside. Here I have them opened up and washed out, and I'm going to then take out this choke part here in the center. And usually you just have to use your fingers. Sometimes I'll get a large spoon. I'm sure there may be a great utensil to do that, but I usually just do it by hand and then use a spoon to scrape out the choke part. And I'll try to do that in stages for you. Make sure you do not put any of these leaves and cuttings in your garbage disposal, because it will clog up your disposal in a heartbeat. I'm trying to get it focused so you can see the choke on the inside. It's a real spiny, soft velvety type of part of the plant, and that's where I usually use a spoon to just scrape that out. You can see here what it looks like. And again, I'm not sure if I have my focus right, but it's very soft, velvety stuff that we're taking out of the center of the choke. Here's what it looks like when it's cleaned out. You can see this one had a lot more of that spiny choke in there that we need to make sure we get out completely so it looks like this, and you just see the heart at the bottom. This is not digestible. Okay, the artichokes are cleaned out. And I've got 3 equal parts of parsley, Parmesan cheese, and some breadcrumbs. And we're going to go ahead and stuff the leaves with those, add butter, and drizzle olive oil on top of it. Once the leaves are stuffed, and I just try to push everything down into all the leaves that I can, I will then add butter throughout, very similar, and add garlic as well. And you can garlic as much as you want, the better it tastes. Once I stuff all the leaves as much as I can, we go ahead and put them in the pan with the stem. We fill about 3/4 of the way up with the bone broth. All right, we now fill it up 3/4 of the way with the bone broth, and I've drizzled olive oil all along the top of it. We're going to let it simmer for about 3 hours and taste it along the way. Sometimes it takes a little bit more, but slow and low is the best way to go. Once it starts to boil, go ahead and turn it down to a simmer. Put a lid on it, but keep it cracked. Check it once in a while for evaporation, and add bone broth or chicken broth or water as you feel comfortable. You just don't want it to evaporate all out and burn the bottom of the artichoke. So here I gotta let it simmer. I'm gonna go ahead and cover with the lid slightly cracked. If you don't have anyone coming into your kitchen and saying, wow, what smells good, you probably didn't add enough garlic. All right. Everything is cooking. Most importantly, we cleaned up our mess. Kitchen's cleaned up. Steaks are out, thawing. We'll be ready to eat at 5 o'clock. All right. Okay, these have been cooking now for about 2.5 hours. If you test them, you should be able to just pull a leaf right off very easily, just like that. That way you know that they're done. And let that cool just a little bit. Put the lid back on. I'm going to put them just on a very low simmer. Just keep them warm for right now. They should be delicious. I'm going to test it out. Very good. All right, we are good to go. I'll show you when it's completely finished and what they should look like when we take them out. And this is how it should look when it comes out of the pan. It should almost fall apart completely. And then we'll show you how to eat it as soon as the steaks are ready. All right, we are ready to eat. Here's our steak, potatoes, asparagus, and our artichokes. Candlelight dinner for Anna. Happy birthday, Anna. To eat the artichokes, you just take the ends, hold on to this part, and just pull it through your teeth to get all the meat off the leaf itself. They are delicious. Mm-hmm.